cost-effective and it's more practical. Go ahead. So the deepest tunnel we've had is 90 feet in the ground. These are sophisticated tunnels. They have elevator shafts, train systems, communication, lighting, air circulation. So these are tunnels that you'll see on CNN or the BBC. You know, they're large-scale, sophisticated tunnels used mainly by cartels or transnational organizations. First time usually pays the time. It's over $1 million usually. And like I said, the organizations have surplus. They're well armed. They have a surplus of narcotics waiting to be transported. It's a matter of getting it through. So for us, that's usually where our detection comes into play. Working with community organizations, working with business leaders, getting them on our side to understand this is important. It's going to affect their business. Oh, by the way, the one that we discovered, the last one in April, we had this in my program, the 14 days on program. It actually was the first time we had 6,000 pounds of they're not little tunnels. They're not what we call tail and bucket type tunnels. From in our intel, people from Mexico that are engineers that have built mines that understand what they're doing, and then they're doing labors on the Mexico side to create tunnels and then passing narcotics. So, any other questions? Go ahead. I work here every weekend. Saturday, Sunday, we're here, and then during the week I do cybersecurity engagement. Government officials, foreign diplomats. We've had the government of Germany out here, different people organizations, and we'll drop them. Not myself, I was head of us all throughout San Diego, all throughout really the travel actually. So I've actually been up to New York. But I'll be leaving back and I'll be actually going back to the field. We're all field agents first. So we do these assignments for 2 years, and then we go back to the field, and that's what we do to our job. So I actually had to apply for this, put in a resume, for an interview. It's pretty competitive. We deal with a lot with the media, we deal with a lot with the public, with a lot of organizations like how are the steps on detecting someone trying to get some sort of or doing them something like that? Well, here's the thing with the Border Patrol, anybody we come in contact with, it's usually not, you're in an area you're not supposed to be, because we patrol the ports of entry. So the customs guys on the border, you'll see them at the air, sea, land, airports, and land ports. That's the way you traditionally would present yourself legally to the country. So anytime you see one of us, it's usually ambassadors. And that's the biggest difference between us and their agency. Is that they see a legitimate amount of legitimate traffic. However, with us, because of our responsibility, what we cover is important. And usually, when you're not trying to go to the port of entry, I always use this analogy. You guys all have a house, right? You most live in a house. When somebody comes to your house, they go through your front door. Somebody goes through your side yard, somebody goes through your backyard. It's going to raise a red flag, right? That's the way we look at it. Okay? If somebody's going to come into our side yard and around us, above us, under us, not present themselves legally like they should, as it is by law, then that's a problem. And that's where I've seen you ask me if the case experience is a little different. I've arrested 49 people from arrests than I have any other nationality from around the country because of my experience in the interior, working with the intelligence. But, you know, we here locally in San Diego, we've seen an increase in Chinese nationals, local and Mexican nationals are still our number one category that we arrest. However, we see Central American countries. I'm sure you guys are familiar with unaccompanied juveniles. They were coming through South Texas. We've seen a little bit of that here. Most of what we're seeing now, as far as asylum seekers, are the Haitian nationals that are coming through the port of entry. However, when that port of entry is backed up, which it is now, they understand that they can accomplish the same thing at the port. Well, they can just jump the fence class has three options in most cases. They can be returned to their country voluntarily. They can seek a judge, see an immigration judge. Every person's offered that. And third, they can, if they have a criminal history warrant out for their arrest, they may face jail time or have to be turned over to that law enforcement agency. So if you have something going on, you have a warrant out in Chicago or a warrant out in Los Angeles, nothing I can do about that. I have to turn you over to that law enforcement. Not everyone has that, so again, the main two that they have, they can go back to their country voluntarily, or they can see the judge and have to take asylum, keep their case, whatever it is. However, your backlog is about 2021. A good majority of those people are coming in this country. We don't have long-term facilities for that. The needs are these given temporary status.
Video. Él es Abraham y es su mamá. Bien. Está grabando. ¿Mande? ¿Qué? No sé. Sí, ¿verdad? Sí, está bien. Sí. La acabo de comprar, pero estoy como calando. Oh, that'd be great, yeah. Oh, ¿quieres ser el camarógrafo?
Mami, voy a ser camarógrafo. Ya vengo. Vamos a sembrar ahorita. ¿Cómo es que se llama? Cactus. ¿Cómo se prende?
Se apaga la pantalla, pero está prendido. Ups, para estar seguro que esté prendido. Sí, ahí está, ahí va. Sí, va a ir. Se apaga.
lástima que no tengo el brazo, ¿no? Que tengo el brazo así.
¿Cómo?
Lástima que tengo el brazo así.
I'll let Dan take the class.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Dan. This is my assistant, Anna. And who's Marion? Oh, okay. How's it going? Sorry I couldn't come over to that side today. Well, welcome to the Binational Friendship Garden Native Plant. And the idea behind it is to kind of create a space where people can make friends through events. And also to promote native flora. So, like Alvaro was saying, they're all native plants. And the design are circles. You kind of see the middle circle here is called the yellow flower garden. You kind of see like a half circle there. And then it keeps going on this side on the Mexican side. Full circle. And three circles. And the garden was planted back in 2007 as part of a project that I have called Border and Friendship, where we used to come in both sides of the border. That's kind of basics of the garden. How many spaces? But I can give you a little more history. In 2007, when we planted, second year, very on the U.S. side, and then actually it was quite a bit wider on the Mexican side. And there was students that came from Prima Mesa High School here in San Diego. It was actually from a middle school in Tijuana, and they all came together and signed together. So that was the beginning of the garden. And then over the years, end of 2006 actually when it started, but by 2008, end of 2008, beginning of 2009, the secondary barrier that was being built was coming into the garden area, or to the park in general. And that's about 6 or 8 months before that, that's when the Friends of Friendship Park formed to try and stop it. So we obviously didn't stop it, but we threw that work on after it was installed, and since then it's been kind of negotiating and trying to struggle for ever more access to the public in this area. My impetus was the friendship thing. I want people to make friends with the park. Of course, the coalition is made up of a bunch of different organizations and bike anymore. It's not that popular of it. There was one last year. That was the last one. They do concerts there and stuff like that. After the concert, I'm going to No, it's not allowed to touch right now. The way the rules are right now on Saturdays and Sundays, it's not allowed on Sunday. From 10 to 2, people are always allowed
times now. The Border Angels, which is another organization, they made arrangements with Border Patrol, and they opened the door for a certain amount of time. I think the first time it was 15 minutes. Is that right, Agent Alvarado? Oh, yeah, that was nothing. It was 15 minutes the first time, and then I think 20 minutes the next time. And they allowed 3 families and then 6 families, I think it was, to be together for 2 minutes. And so I really like the message that communicates, and I'm hoping we can kind of build on that message. I don't really think it does much as far as when it gets in the media as if all of a sudden families can hug now, and it's not true. But it does give that positive message. So I'm hoping we can build on that and create a situation where people really can hug and touch on a regular basis.
Do you have an idea how many families would like to meet here with each other? How many are we talking about?
We have those stats, and I can't remember right now, but it's in the thousands every year. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can send the exact amount. We have it documented, but yeah, I can't remember right now. Sorry, but it's definitely in the thousands.
Can you give us an example how it happened that families were divided?
Yeah, there's a number of different situations. Just in general, there's a lot of people in the United States that have legal status, but they can't leave the United States for various different reasons. Sometimes their paperwork is in process and they need to be in the United States for a number of years before they can leave until the paperwork's ready. But they have permission to be in the United States. And other times it's the young people that are part of the Deferred Action Program, where they're undocumented and they were brought to the United States as very young children, and so there was this DACA thing allows them to be in the United States, allows their deportation to be deferred. So in other words, they can't get deported, but if they leave, then they can't come back. So that's a couple of the main situations people find themselves in. I'm an American citizen, but yeah, I live here. So I've lived like in San Diego, Tijuana for the last 20 years, and I like Tijuana better. So I stay here. I have my house here most of the time, but I stay over there sometimes. I'm a Spanish teacher in San Diego, so I go back and forth. It keeps me up on the language and culture, but hanging out here all the time and having friends here, and I can relate that to my students and even bring my students here. I try to do that on a regular basis. So, yeah. Cool. And you guys are from a university in Germany?
Yes, from University of Munich, and they all study economic geography, and we were here last year.
Okay.
It was so interesting, and we are talking about building a fence in Europe too.
Uh-huh.
Because all the refugees coming from Saudi Arabia and,
Right.
and so it was very interesting to see how it works here.
Cool. So
We saw it the first time last year how families meet each other and how this part is organized here. That was really impressive.
Yeah, it's quite impacting the first time you come. Yeah. Cool. And so with the wall that's or the fence that's being proposed in Europe, where is it being proposed to be built, or do you know, or is it other different proposals?
I don't know where they want to build that.
Okay. Just an idea that's out there. Okay. Cool. Well, hopefully I can get over to the U.S. side at some point and meet you guys. That'd be great. Or I don't know if you have plans to come over to Tijuana, but
One of the most dangerous things in the world, maybe for us to go there.
I don't think so. I mean, I can only talk from my personal experience. I've been coming here and living here for the last 20 years, and I haven't ran into anything dangerous. I've heard of some dangerous things that have happened, and I know they do happen. It's definitely not like a war zone, like is sometimes portrayed in the media and what have you. It's definitely not like that. So you're not going to cross the border and like have to dodge bullets or anything like that. But yeah, there's tourists here all the time. Like I said, I've never, over the last 20 years, I've never seen anything. I've never personally had anything happen to me. I left my shoes outside one time and they got stolen. That was the only thing that's ever happened. But yeah, so I feel just as safe here as I feel in San Diego, for example. And you have to watch out on certain occasions, certain areas, what have you, but I feel the same way in San Diego. Yeah, well, I mean, it started, my border encuentro thing was kind of my main focus at the beginning, but that kind of melded into the Friends of Friendship Park in order to stop the wall from coming in, and the Friends of Friendship Park is pretty strong as far as advocacy goes for letting people in, so I spend a lot of my time working on the petition, working on different things different strategies in order to allow more people to be able to come in. And kind of my biggest part in the coalition is the garden, and the garden has now become kind of part of the park. So yeah, that's what I'm doing more than anything on the weekends when I come here is I'm working in the garden, and that includes talking to people. There's like in this case you guys, but even when there's not like a scheduled group. On the Mexican side, there's people coming by all the time, and they're really interested in what's going on, and so I sometimes just hang out here and talk to people and tell them about the garden and try to recruit volunteers because it's all volunteer, and we work here, yeah, Wednesday and Saturday for sure, and then Sunday we do the harvesting. So, yeah.
How many people are there that
There's like, as far as core members of the coalition, there's I think probably 7 of us, something like that, 7 or 8, and some of us are just individuals, and some others are members of an organization. I'm kind of in between. Border Encuentro isn't like a whole organization; it's more like a project that I have. But then there's the American Friends Service Committee, who has a large, a national organization, and their local member, one of their local members, well, in general, they're a member organization of the Friends of Friendship Park, and one of their local members is the most active in our coalition. So yeah, and then we have an architect who's part of it, a university professor, and a writer who's part of it. The pastor who's coming today, John Fanisville, is one of the leaders of the coalition. So, and he used to be the executive director of San Diego, or actually what's it called? San Diego Foundation for Change, which is kind of an activist organization that supported activist projects in San Diego and Tijuana. And so when he first joined, he was the director for that organization. So, and now he's the leader of the Border Church, so that's kind of his main project now, especially as related to the park. Well, there's a few other people. There's a lawyer. There's a couple America who's a student and CA at San Diego State University, who's pretty active. In the Friends of Friendship Park Coalition, yeah. So like each individual has kind of some binational projects. The writer professor I was talking about, Jill Holtzman, she lives here in Playa as well. And so like, and John of course has the binational church, the border church, and so that he has a counterpart in Mexico, and so he's working at the border all the time and working. And there's, as far as this project goes, there's Mexicans and Americans working together, And so the same thing with my project. And America, for example, she has family on the side, and so she's kind of binational as well. So, yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I think we're all American citizens, but all kind of border people.
Do Mexicans appreciate your work?
Yeah, in general for sure. Yeah, I have a lot of support, especially around the garden. There's when we planted it the first time, it was actually during an environmental festival that happens twice a year here called Salvemos la Playa, and that's done by a local NGO here called Proyecto Fronterizo de Educación Ambiental. It's an environmental organization right here at the border, and they do water monitoring and things like that, and they're great. I've been working with them since 2005, and they're good friends, and they let me share their office right next to here where I can store my tools, and at one point the garden, when it started to grow and it was becoming way too much just for me, a lot of the organizations that are part of that big environmental festival joined in and started helping and volunteering, and we developed for 1 year a program called El Grupo de los 12, the group of 12, so that there was one organization that took over the garden per month, so that it was taken care of all year long, and during that month they had required maintenance and things they had to do, and then on top of that they could add some type of artistic touch or something that represented their organization or what have you to the garden. So it was cool. It only lasted a year, but it was cool. Now most of those organizations and others just kind of are on the list, and I can kind of call on them to help. And some of them, for example, there's a couple individuals that are super active and helping and actually doing programs. There's a university professor here in the university here in Tijuana who brings her students, and she started. She developed a native plant guide, and we did a workshop with her guide just a couple weeks ago. So yeah, there's quite a bit of support. Cool. Great question. Helps me a lot to get things I can't remember. Oh. Cool. Well, thanks again. And, I'll be hanging out here. I don't know how long you guys are going to be hanging out, but I'll be hanging out here. We're going to harvest and sorry I can't give you a salad or something, but.
All right.
We had a present for you as well.
What's that?
We had a present for you as well from Liverpool.
Oh, darn, I don't get my present. What's that? Oh, you can give it to my, yeah, I see her all the time. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. No worries. Yeah. How long are you in town? Tomorrow morning. Wow, okay. Oh, well, I guess it's my turn to go to Munich or something. Because I've been here twice already. Cool. And how was you just came straight here and met with